Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we've been talking all about themes and the look of our site. What I want to talk about now is how do we go about creating new pages on our site? Because you'll notice that right here we have a sample page. Okay, here's a sample page. We didn't create this. This was just installed for us when we installed WordPress. Um, we've created posts. We're familiar with how to create posts, and if we remember from the earlier screencasts, we talked about how posts are for sort of information that exists in time, like articles and time-sensitive material. Okay, so here's all our posts right here. But what about these pages? Okay, how do we go about creating the pages? Well, the good news is creating a page is actually just as easy as creating a post. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's first of all go and click on the Pages tab over here, and we see a very similar interface to when we were looking at posts over here. This is a list of all the pages that are currently active on your site, and we've got our sample page right there. Let's go ahead and add a new page by clicking the Add New button. And we see a page, an Edit Page window here that is an awfully similar to that new post window, isn't it, right? And yeah, it's almost the same. We need to add a title, so why don't we add a little thing about here? Oh, I don't know, let's say about us, okay? And let's just put a little bit of dummy text in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some blank text in there. Okay, cool. There's a very simple page. We've got a few other options here, but we're going to leave this for the time being. Let's go ahead and click on Publish, and let's take a look at our new page. Okay, let's view this page. Okay. And we'll notice a couple things about this once we view it. Okay, there we go. Very simple. Okay, very simple page here. We see that this automatically added About Us in the menu here, and in a couple screencasts, I'm going to show you how you can actually customize what the menu looks like. But there we go. It's pretty straightforward. You'll notice this looks a little bit different than the way a post looks. Let's compare this to what a post looks like. Okay, if I click through on the check out our new band lineup, we'll see that this actually indicates the date that this particular post was posted, as well as the category and the tags. We notice that we don't actually have that in the About Us page. I'm going to close that. What I'm doing is I'm just switching between the two. Here's an example of a post that we created. Here's an example of a page. On a page, the page does away with the time because the date that this particular page was published isn't really important to your user. Because remember, pages are meant to store static information or static content about your website, okay? Interestingly, this permits us to leave a comment. Okay, and what if we didn't want that? What if we didn't want people to be able to add comments to individual pages? Okay, we can actually turn that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and I'm going to click the Edit Page button up here. I'm just navigating through the interface in a slightly different way. We could have just as easily gone to the All Pages window here, and there's our page. Let's go ahead and click Edit right here. We could edit that like that. That's not a problem. We can change a couple settings. Again, I want to point out something. I pointed this out earlier when I was talking about the posts, editing posts, but the screen options button right up here, do you see that? Okay, this allows you to access more functions or more features or more ways to customize this particular page. If we want to turn comments on and off, we actually need to make the discussion section visible. I know it seems funny because you think, oh, it's comments, right? Well, no, comments actually will give you a list of the comments that have been posted on this site. If we want to turn the actual comments on and off, we need to click discussion. And we'll see down here, as soon as I turn that on, here, I'll turn it off, it's gone. Turn it on, it's back here, okay? As soon as I get this window appears, and here is where I can say, you know what, I don't want to allow comments. And I'll talk about trackbacks and pingbacks in another time, but let's say we didn't want to allow any comments whatsoever. I've unchecked that. I'm going to go and click Update, and then let's see how this actually changes our actual page. So I'm going to view the page now, and as you can probably guess, what do you think is going to happen? Right, we've gotten rid of the commenting ability on here. This little edit button, this only shows up for you, by the way. If you were to go to this site and not be logged in, you would not see that edit button, obviously. So this is just a nice clean page, okay? And you'll notice that this particular theme treats when it comes to the menu here, whichever page you're on, the theme sort of gives you a clue as to what page you're on by changing the style of the name of the page, the title of the page in the menu here. Notice that? This is very specific to this theme. Different themes will handle this differently. See, when we're on the sample page, the word there is in italics and it's red. If I switch over to the About Us page, there, the title is italics and red right there. So we're just flipping between those two pages. If I go back to the front page, I see here's our stream of all the latest posts that we have posted. Okay, so now we know how to create pages. Okay, let me show you one last thing. I want to show you how to delete pages. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard to do this, shall we? The reason I want to show you this is this sample page. Okay, it was handy when we didn't have any pages there, but I think we can get rid of this page. So let's say we want to delete this. We're just going to go to pages over here. And I think you could probably figure this out on your own. I'm just going to select this sample page and I can either click trash or I can just go up to here and say move to trash. So there's a couple different ways of doing exactly the same thing. You'll notice that it actually doesn't trash it permanently. It's been removed from your site. Here, I'll show you if I go back to the front page here. There, our sample page is gone. It's been removed from the site, but if we say, oh no, I changed my mind, we could restore it. Or if you're like, no, get rid of this forever and ever and ever, you can go delete permanently. And delete permanently definitely means delete permanently, so use this with caution. I'm just going to leave it in the trash bin for now. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned what pages are. We got a quick refresher on what the difference is between pages and posts. We learned how to create new pages. We learned how to turn commenting on and off. Let me show you another real quick way to do this. You don't even need to go through to the edit page window. You could have just clicked quick edit and then just turn allow comments on and off from right within there if you wanted to. But I showed you the long way of doing it, but now you know the short way of doing it. So we learned how to turn comments on and off. And finally, we learned how to create or how to delete pages. So there you go. And that was a really fast lesson because, you know, all the other stuff, all the stuff that you learned about posts in terms of editing your content, in terms of making, you know, making this bold and making this italics and then adding media and all that stuff, that's exactly the same. This interface here, this WYSIWYG editor, it's identical. It works the same. So everything you learned on how to create posts, you can apply here when it comes to creating and editing your pages. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.